Potatoes are so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Those are red, white, and blue potatoes. They come as a root vegetable. They're under the ground, and you dig them when the plants start to die. They make great 4th of July, red, white, and blue.
What you did there.
Yep.
Hi, welcome to another episode of Farm Fresh Cooking presented by the Gallatin Public Library. Gabby, what do you have for us?
Well, this weekend we got some onions from WadeFarmz and some potatoes, red, white, and blue potatoes from Natureworks at the farmer's market.
That's great. I especially love the blue potatoes. These are so much fun if you have children. You serve them blue potatoes, they lose their minds. They're great.
Everything tastes better if it's colorful.
Right. Well, what we're going to do today is make a side dish that can accompany pretty much anything throughout the summer. Just some nice rustic potatoes. Simple ingredients, lots of flavor. So we're going to start with our potatoes, and we are going to slice these up into some nice big chunks. We want big chunks.
They're so pretty!
Purple.
Can you tell me a little bit more about why I have a giant bowl of water in front of me?
That is an excellent question. Now, potatoes normally get a bad reputation. They say if you're on a diet, don't eat the potatoes. Do we know why?
Starch?
That's
Carbs?
the answer.
Oh,
Starch.
okay.
Starch is a simple carbohydrate, quickly converts to sugar in your body. So, to make the potatoes ever so slightly healthier, we get rid of the starch. And we do that by tossing them into a bowl of cold water for about 10 or 15 minutes. The cold water is just going to suck the starch right out of them.
Well, I did
and
not
so
know that.
they're a little bit more healthy that way.
I'll drop some in.
Sure.
Get a close-up of this.
Now the other benefit,
Should you do slow-mo so you get water drops?
okay,
Okay.
Let's just mop the table now. Without the starch, the potatoes will become a little more crispy.
Are you baking, roasting, frying?
We're going to roast these.
Are you a little disappointed that the red potatoes aren't red? I do believe, okay, we're getting more purple. These are just so pretty. Okay, I'm done. I'm now gone from yummy to pretty.
That's right.
This would make such a pretty potato salad too.
Yeah, that's something else I love to do with these multicolored potatoes is make a nice potato salad with it,
Do
just
you
for the
think
presentation.
there's any difference in the taste?
You know, there is a little bit of a difference in the taste. I find that the purple potatoes have a little bit more of an earthy flavor to them.
Okay.
But it depends on how you prepare them and what you put with them, because sometimes...
Got some overpowering second ingredient.
Exactly. So that's probably enough of those.
Okay.
So we're going to let those sit for 10 or 15 minutes, and you will start to see the starch come out in the water. Now, if we were using something like russet potatoes, you would see the water turning this milky white color. There's so much starch coming out. These have a little bit less to begin with.
I kind of always figured that was just dirt.
It is an agricultural product. There's plenty of dirt in there. I did wash these before we started filming. Make sure you rinse them off, otherwise you might get some crunchy bits that you don't want.
Fair enough.
Now, the next part, we're going to go ahead and dice these onions.
I didn't bring my goggles.
There might be some tears. It's okay. We're all happy here. We're going to dice these onions and start them caramelizing. Now, I'm going to cook the onions separate from the potatoes, and we're going to combine them at the end because we want this nice sweet onion flavor to be a little distinct from the potatoes. All right, we're just going to rough chop these. We don't need it finely diced or anything. I just want some big...
When you say you're caramelizing them,
Yes.
are you using butter or oil? Are you making them softer? Is that...
Well, part of what it is they do become softer.
Okay.
And then what we're doing is we're taking the starches and the onions and we're converting it into sugar.
Okay.
So it is actual caramel, like caramel candy almost. So it's amazing that we can take something as harsh as an onion and give it a sweet flavor just by adding heat. But that's what we do. The trick here is to cook them slowly. If they start turning brown after a minute or two, you've sauteed, you've browned the onions, you haven't caramelized them.
Okay.
So we're going to cook them a little bit slower. I'm going to go ahead and get my pan warm. Just medium-high heat, get it ready.
Okay, so what is all the greenery?
The greenery. This is some fresh German thyme. This came out of my own garden. We're going to...
What time did you pick it?
Here come the jokes. I picked it in the morning. Yes. All right. You can see this is our fresh German thyme. Now this is a nice, easy one to work with. We just want these little green leaves on there, and to get them off, all you do is pinch the stem and pull, and they just come right off. Let's
They
wait.
do have thyme for sale at the farmer's market too.
Oh yeah.
There were several sellers,
You can get all the herbs you need from the farmer's market.
but yours is beautiful too.
Well, thank you. We're going to wait just a few minutes. We're going to add that once the potatoes are finished soaking. So for now, let's go ahead and get these onions in the pan and caramelizing. We're going to start by putting just about a tablespoon of canola oil into the pan. That will help prevent sticking. Onions straight into the oil. And then we want to add a little bit of salt to it. The salt will help draw the moisture out of the onions and help them to cook better. Give a little stir, make sure you get the salt and oil on all of it. And just let them sit. Whenever you hear them sizzling, we're going to turn the heat down to medium-low. Make sure you give the onions a little flip every once in a while as they're cooking. Don't want them sitting too long.
That was fancy.
So let's not bother with a close-up on it. Don't do that. Just stir the starch back in.
Well, you didn't tell me that before I did it. You said don't touch the potatoes. See,
Okay,
he's being
we are
mean
ready
again.
to get our potatoes prepped and in the oven. So we need to get the potatoes out of the water. Carefully pour the water off because the starch will settle in there, and we don't want to mix it back in very much. Actually, you can probably see the dirty water coming through. That's good. We don't want to pour it all out because we'll get some of the starch back in. Okay, now I'm gonna grab a couple of paper towels.
Oh, you can really see how murky the water is now.
Just want to help dry these potatoes a little bit, so just onto the paper towel. Remember, the more moisture you can get out of this, the more crispy the potatoes will be in the end. Take a look at this potato water. You can see how cloudy it is. That's just the starch that has leached out of the potatoes. That is all starch that will not turn into sugar in your stomach.
Yay!
All right, those onions are really going now. We're going to turn that heat
They
down.
smell amazing.
Give it a little toss. All right, just pat these a bit, and then we'll just dump them into this bowl. Now we get to add all of our flavor to the potatoes.
Yum.
We're going to start with a little splash of canola oil. Oil will help coat the outside of the potatoes so they get that nice, crunchy, crispy
It
texture.
doesn't look like you use very much. How much do you recommend? Need?
Oh, 1 or 2 tablespoons is all. Just a little pour.
Okay.
Salt, black pepper, I like a little extra pepper on this. Then, minced garlic. Use fresh if you like. I prefer to cheat with this. This is actually a bit milder than chopping it up fresh. And if you want
way
to
more
use,
convenient.
Absolutely, and if you want to use powdered garlic, dried powdered garlic, that's the weakest form, but you still get plenty of good flavor. So 2 tablespoons of garlic, And then we're going to grab the thyme. Here, grab some sprigs, Gabby.
Ooh.
Now we just want to
Whoops.
hold the top of the stem and just gently pull our fingers down the stem, and the leaves will come right off.
I broke the stem.
That's all right.
Here's some.
Thyme is one of those herbs that actually has more flavor if you cook it.
Really?
Yeah, some of the herbs you don't need to cook them very much or else they get weak. But yeah, with the thyme, flavors will really start to pop. Okay. Well, now we just need to toss this. Just use your hand, work it around.
Get
You
in
want to make
there.
sure you get a bit of oil on everything. If they try to run away, grab them.
Slippery little suckers.
Yes. We need to invest in some bigger bowls here at the library.
This is probably the most real cooking we've ever done here.
I think you're right.
Although we do have a baker on staff who cooks the most outrageous treats.
Oh, I know.
She doesn't invite me to participate though for some reason. I can't imagine why.
There we go, and just sprinkle all of that goodness on top.
Yes, sir.
There we go.
They are so pretty.
Onions are looking good. We can see that they are starting to look a little shiny, translucent, getting a little soft. That's what we want. We just need to keep stirring, keep cooking, and soon we'll see them turning brown. All right, oven is already preheated to 375 degrees. That's a little below the smoke point of the canola oil. We're going to pop these in and set a timer for about 45 minutes. These take a while. Plan ahead.
Set a timer for 45 minutes.
You don't have the timer app installed.
Yes, I do. Brat.
All right, it's been about 45 minutes. We're ready to take these potatoes out of the oven, plate them up, and eat. Oh yes, look at that. Now, we could eat them just like this, but why not do a little bit more to them?
Let's juice them up.
All right, I like to use a little bit of Parmesan cheese on top of them. It adds a bit more flavor.
I've never had too much Parmesan cheese.
It's hard to get too much. Just sprinkle a liberal amount over the top. There we go. And then you can, if you want to make it fancy, take some extra sprigs of thyme and just, pile it up in the middle. Put it around the plate. Make it fancy.
I can
There we
smell
have
the
it.
Parmesan cheese now.
Yes. Rustic potatoes, perfect side dish to go with any summertime meal. Nice and colorful too.
What
I'm
were
so
you
glad
doing
you
with
bought
that
these
onion?
different potatoes. How could we forget that? Caramelized onions. Thought something was missing. I'm hungry.
Apparently.
We've been smelling this for so long. All right, sprinkle those onions on top. There's no wrong way.
And they look so pretty with the red, white, and blue potatoes.
Absolutely. Independence Day party, this is what you need to serve. Okay, there we go, Gabby. Rustic potatoes.
Let's dig in.
Grab a fork. Thank you. These will be hot.
That is really hot, really good.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna take a little more right here. Maybe a bite-sized piece, and I won't have to cover my mouth while I eat. They are so hot.
That is so hot, yes. That was a bad idea.